So, what is way out living? Greetings. It is I, Dan, or as my friends call me, Lord Emperor SuperDan the Magnificent, bold defender of justice, supreme dictator of the world for life. So, what is way out living? Well, that's very difficult to explain, considering that it's not fully definable. It's too complicated for a finite length video, but I'll try to give an overview. Um, Basically, it comes down to love of truth and fascination with the universe as it is. Now, this can manifest in many ways. It can be the appreciation of beauty, and everything has beauty in it somewhere, though it's often hidden. Uh, but it helps sometimes to take a different perspective, to zoom in or zoom out. And one example I've used in the past is, you know, a dead tree with like mold and worms and stuff in it. It's not very beautiful. But if you zoom in really closely and you see all the stuff growing there, the moss and the lichen and the bacteria, those are like living things. It's like a little jungle, a little forest. And uh, if you zoom out, you might see that this one tree is, there are other dead trees in the area scattered around in a way that is balanced yet not perfectly regular. And you can see it's part of the beauty of the forest, the cycle of life. Things have to die to make the soil so more life can come up again. And so it helps to zoom in and out. And once you apply that principle, cities can be beautiful. Now, I have never seen a close up picture of a city that was anything other than ugly. But when you zoom out and you start seeing, oh, there's these weird beings called humans that build these buildings up in different places, and they're connected by roads, and they all like transport material here and there, and they got all these lights, and then the lights are all different colors. It can look good under the right circumstances. Appreciation of beauty can also be manifest as the creation of art, paintings and drawings, but also literature, fiction, and also not just the creators of the art, but the people looking at the art or experiencing it, if it's a non-visual form of art, culinary art, music, uh, by finding the good in it, which is not always obvious, and people sometimes have different takes on the same thing. They are co-creators with the artist to pull the art out of it. And of course, this is exactly what you're doing when you look at a city or look at nature. You are pulling the art out of it, co-creating with the creator of the universe. And there's plenty of reason to be fascinated everywhere. And furthermore, this can be manifest in other ways too, by the desire to travel and explore. And so this can be in big ways. If you want to go to Mars, that's certainly part of it. If you want to explore the ocean floor, which still has not been fully mapped, that's part of it. But if you're just a regular person and you don't want to take the risk and you don't want to put in the hard work, And you don't want to spend the long, boring voyages getting to these places. Like Mars would probably take 2 years, at least. Um, what you can do is you can explore parks. And you can say, well, people have been there before. Yeah, but no one's been there this far in the future before. You're a time traveler. So, go to parks, go to museums, go to locally owned unique restaurants, write about them so you can report back to civilization what they were like. And this is what I do on my blog, wayoutlife.com, when I have time. Um, and so I've always wanted to be an explorer of some kind. And this manifests not just in physical exploration, but in reading books and learning what other people have done, either with their experiments or their surveys or pointing telescopes at things. They've learned things and they put them in books, and then I go in the library and research, and I learn things, and I kind of put things together that maybe other people have never put together before and see a pattern, and then I announce it on YouTube for the world to find out, and then they say, "Oh wow, Dan, you're so smart," and you know, and you know, that's how it should go, anyways. I don't. Sometimes the opposite happens, but this is it's just another way to explore, another way to appreciate beauty, and another way to pursue truth. It's all the same thing. And because I love truth, I'm also quick to admit when I'm not absolutely sure of something. Um, Beliefs are tentative. There's a lot we don't know, and I like to speculate. And so when we find that stars are orbiting galaxies faster than they should be, that could be invisible matter that, we don't see, but there's like extra matter there, extra mass called dark matter. Or it could be that, Newton was wrong, and then Einstein was also wrong, and we got gravity wrong. And it could be a little of both, or it could be something else entirely. Maybe we did the measurements wrong, which would also be interesting. Like, how would that have happened? I just like speculating about all different sorts of things. And so, and that's my approach to science. We don't really know anything. We use quantum mechanics and general relativity because they make good predictions within their realms of application, but we already know that at the Planck scale, they're fundamentally incompatible with each other. They can't both be true. And in fact, there are hints that neither of them are true. And so really, you just have to take everything tentatively. It's the only proper way to approach science, but not just science. Everything, life. What behaviors are rude? Which behaviors are polite? People should be learning their entire lives. Now, granted, sometimes it's the other guy that needs to learn, but you know, these things are created by agreement, cultural agreement between multiple people, and and they're always evolving, and so you have to hold it all that tentatively, all your habits, your behaviors, just the way you think about stuff, and even religion. And of course, this is my approach to religion at the current time. I do believe in some sort of God. Uh, that's my theory, so to speak. Um, but what exactly is a god in detail? Um, is he even a he? She? It? Is there an afterlife? And what types of afterlives are possible? And how do you get into one rather than the other? And what does creator of the universe mean? Was it creating it at the beginning? Was there a point in time that it was made? Or is this something that continually sustains? I mean, we can't even be sure that the universe had a beginning. At one time, scientists believed that the universe was eternal. Then, when they found it was expanding, they came up with this steady state idea that said, well, new matter is created in the vacuum in between, so it maintains the same density. But then that was pretty much debunked. And so they adopted the Big Bang idea, which was this idea that there wasn't any time before the singularity. And so time itself began then. But now they've started thinking that that was just the beginning of our local inflating universe, that maybe the bigger multiverse is constantly expanding, and it's only these areas where the inflation slows down that you have these little pockets of normal space like the one we live in. Nobody knows. 100 years from now, they'll probably have another theory. We 500 years ago, we were still using leeches on patients. We are barely got 1 foot out of the dark ages here. Nobody knows. Also, another element of way of living is play is valuable, because you're not content to just take a simple answer to life. You have to ask, well, what's the purpose of that? And then, what's the purpose of that? And then, what's the purpose of that? And keep going. And I've always been confused by people who they eschew play and they want to just focus on work, be serious, be an adult, and which you have to do is necessary, right? But for me, I work so that I have resources, right? So that I can have the time to play, and I can do so comfortably. I also build up these resources so I can help other people play. That's what work is for. Some people just work so that they can continue working, They work just to keep their life going, but then they spend it working. What's the point? But play is a good in and of itself. It needs no explanation. So I work to play, and so that's another part of way out living. And there's more to it, but that's good enough for now. So thank you for watching. And remember to find these videos interesting, to subscribe and hit the like button.